everybody, and welcome back to more of the Trooper series. We last left off with Alara Dorn, that is, contacting us and saying that she found a facility nearby, or she has whereabouts of a facility nearby that could be controlled by the people we're trying to find. And also may be connected with Imperial forces here on the planet as well. Speaking of Imperial forces, we also found out that Alara is a Republic agent. She works for the Republic. She's working to help me on this planet, but she has an Imperial accent, which is quite intriguing. So she's had to have been in the Empire at one point in her life, and I'm sure we'll hear about that story as we go throughout the planet, but we're still in the process of deciding whether or not we can entirely trust her, but that will all be decided this episode, I'm sure. So now we've worked our way down into this facility here. As you see, there's like little prison cells, which means the Republic forces that were getting like taken and kidnapped, basically, which is what was going on in the previous episode, are here. Hopefully. So we're going to have to destroy all these soldiers here as I ding, finally, and go put my point in and then go find these Republic troopers that are hopefully still alive in here. I'm assuming they all are because you can see a few moving around in that cell, but let's go check this other side just to make sure.
You're from the Republic. Watch out. There's a huge alien guarding us and... Ah, there it is! Run for it!
Okay, he wasn't kidding. That's a pretty beefy alien. He looks like he's made of like Play-Doh or something, which is really funny to me. I don't know what it is about those guys. You can also find them in places later on in the game as well, so it's not, specifically a Taurus thing, but it's pretty funny that this is the smaller version of them. The bigger ones are much bigger, probably triple the size. I mean, they're pretty big. So we kill that, and now we get to go disable the shield on here and free these soldiers finally. But you gotta wonder what the whole story is going on here. Like, why were they taken in the first place? Why are they even here? Who's behind all this? But we'll find all that out right now.
Whoa. Who are you? You took that thing down easy.
Commanding Officer Havoc Squad.
You're kidding. They actually sent Havoc Squad after us? I'm Ensign Tane, sir. I think it's a good thing you found us. The scavengers were gonna ship us off to some guy named Needles as soon as we healed up.
Needles? As in Ryler Dorn, the Havoc Squad medic?
I really don't know. Needles is all they ever called the guy. Figured it must be a code name, right?
Guess this wasn't a waste of time after all.
And that's not all. I also heard...
Here they are. Cav, Goran, cover the exit. Vice, Marco, Tabba, see to these men's wounds.
Oh, great. Sergeant Dorn's here to make sure we get stomped according to regulation.
Report, Ensign. Did you learn anything about the enemy?
Yes, sir. Sergeant, sir. As I was just telling the lieutenant here, we were captured for some guy named Needles. And get this, there are Imperials here, on Terrace. They're working with this Needles guy in a hidden base out in the swamps.
These days, the imps are everywhere.
So, are you excited, Dorn? You finally have the chance to correct your old buddy's paperwork again.
Is there something you want to tell me, Dorn?
Many of the local troops feel that my adherence to regulations is a result of my upbringing, Lieutenant. I was born Imperial. However, after 2 years' service in the Imperial military, I defected. Given my extensive knowledge and training, I was awarded this position under Service Code 37R.
What made you change sides?
The Imperials regularly violated their own stated regulations and intentions without cause. I refused to participate. We can discuss non-mission critical issues later. My team and I will get these men back to base, Lieutenant. You proceed with your mission against Needles and his Imperial installation.
Is there anything you want me to pass on to your old friends, Dorn?
We have our separate duties, Lieutenant. I'll leave you to yours.
So there you go, quite a bit of interesting stuff there. So we have the fact that Needles is the one who wanted these soldiers. So Needles is obviously, he was a doctor, so he's probably doing experiments on him, which is why he needed live subjects, which is why he kidnapped those soldiers. So you gotta keep that in mind. We're obviously trying to find him. He's trying to find all the Havoc Squad members just to bring them to justice, which is what we do, because they basically They basically defected to the Empire. They say that they're not loyal to the Empire, but they pretty much like stated the fact that they are by switching sides. I mean, they help the Empire to the Republic, and the reason why is because they don't like the way that the Republic handled things, and they felt like the Republic betrayed them, as we've found out in the story thus far. So they felt like the Republic wasn't going to get the job done, and they needed to go elsewhere. But ironically, they went to go work for the people that the Republic is trying to hinder. So you gotta wonder, there's a strange connection there between them and Alara, because Alara is, or Dorn, or whatever you want to call her by her first name. That's how I roll. Look, I'm the lieutenant. I'm above her. I can do that. So the thing is, she defected, as she just told us, to the Republic because the Empire has stated regulations and they constantly go against them. And most of that, just to give you some backstory here, most of that is because the commanding officers and stuff in the Empire Army are Sith. Basically, I mean, they are Force users. They are Sith warriors, Sith Inquisitors. They are people on the Dark Council. They are like majors up in the Sith Empire, and they are mostly commanding officers within the Empire as well. So they're part of the Empire, or Imperial Army rather, and they kind of do things their own way. As you've probably noticed from the way Sith typically behave, they do things that make them happy, and they're typically very sadistic. So they go against regulation of the Imperial Army a lot, but they are the Imperial Army. Like, they're the reason the army is there to begin with, because they're all trying to serve the Emperor, who is a giant Sith. So you got to keep that in mind. So she defects because of that, right? She hates that whole concept, and that's kind of the thing my whole agent goes for as well. She hates the Sith, so that's what she kind of does, and that's the daughter of this character. Kind of wonder where she gets that from, but my trooper as well also is kind of like that. She doesn't really like the way a lot of the things are done in the Republic, because it's not necessarily probably the best way to handle things. They like to keep things under wraps and all that. But ironically, Alara switched sides for the same reason that Havoc switched sides, and or pretty close to the same reason. So you got to wonder, there's this weird like crossover there in stories. But we'll find out about her more later on this planet. As I was saying earlier, I mean, this planet pretty much revolves around her story and Needles, but it's cool that we get to know someone who defected from the Empire, and we get to kind of learn her mindset, because that way we can better understand why Havoc did it to begin with.
Looking for Needles, are you? I'm afraid he's long gone, my friend.
I'm afraid those were your last words, friend.
Wait. I could be a great help to you. I'll tell you everything you need to know about Needles. But in exchange, you have to let me go.
You seem to know an awful lot about my mission here.
You're wearing a Havoc Squad insignia and searching Needles' files. It doesn't take a great mind to put the two together. It's simple. Let me live, and I will tell you everything. Kill me, and you'll learn nothing.
Come in, Lieutenant. This is Sergeant Dawn. Do not trust this man. I served with him in the Empire. His name is Thoros.
What? Who's that? Who are you talking to? Dawn, is that you?
Thoros is a mass murderer, Lieutenant. A war criminal.
A mass murderer, huh?
During my time in Imperial service, Thoros ordered the executions of hundreds of civilian non-combatants and full-scale bombings of unarmed populations. Furthermore, these actions were committed in circumvention of direct orders from Imperial command.
I am a soldier. I do what I must to achieve my objectives, just like you, Lieutenant.
Unless you want to tell me something interesting, I'm just gonna start shooting.
Whatever you want, I'll tell you anything. Needles is doing experiments on the Rakghouls. He wants to understand the disease, to turn it into a weapon. He left here a few hours ago. He said he was visiting some friends in the ruptured sewer system to get more samples.
I'm gonna need a lot more detail here.
Rakghouls! He needs more to continue his research. He won't say who his friends are, but they supplied the Rakghouls. That's everything. That's all I know. I've given you what you wanted. Now what about me?
You'd know better than I would, Sergeant. What should I do here?
I respectfully suggest you discharge your weapon into Thoris's skull, Lieutenant.
No! This isn't fair.
If you're still recording, Sergeant, now would be a good time to stop.
There seems to be some kind of signal interference, Lieutenant. Under Code 35B, I'm cutting the connection to prevent signal interception. I'll meet you back in the SAR office, Lieutenant. Dawn out.
No!
So it's kind of good and kind of evil to do something like that, and most of the trooper decisions for the light sided and dark side decisions are like that. They're really all gray area more than light side and dark side, which I think is really cool. But due to Dorn's suggestion about that guy being a mass murderer and gonna kill civilians and stuff, letting him go would just cause more issues. Bringing him in would probably be the better thing to do, but I just, because of her suggestion, I offed him.
Good work with Thoris, Lieutenant. War criminals do not deserve the opportunity to strike deals. Lab results confirmed Thoris's account. Needles has almost completed a weaponized strain of Rak Ghoul disease. However, the data makes no mention of Needles' friends in the ruins of the transport system.
I can't say I'm looking forward to meeting these people.
You said it. Dorn's as creepy as they come.
Available intelligence doesn't show any populations in the ruins of the transport system, but scans of the area have been cursory at best. Rak Ghouls infest the area, making scouting by foot inordinately difficult. However, one traversable route has been located.
I don't see how that helps.
If the route we've located is the only one available, then the odds are good that you'll find Needles somewhere in the area. I apologize for the lack of intelligence, Lieutenant. This ruined transport station is our only lead to Needles' location. I would encourage you to stock up on supplies and munitions before entering the area. Good luck.
So this is pretty much the last portion of Taurus, which is cool. I mean, Taurus didn't take us too long to finish. It usually goes fairly quickly, but the whole thing on Alara, I mean, you gotta wonder, she used to be an Imperial, and she just told me to off an Imperial that she knew. So either she's trying to earn my trust in like a really weird way, or that's just leftover knowledge from the Empire. I mean, the Empire, that's something they do, right? That's one of their things they do, is they just randomly kill people. At least a Sith. That's definitely a Sith thing, especially dark-sided Sith. So I don't know. I'm a little. I just don't know which decision would have been the right one there, to keep him alive or to kill him. But I obviously went with the kill him, so we'll stick with that one. We're gonna move into like I said, the end of Taurus here, and there's going to be another series of decisions that I have to make. And I tell you, more in this story than a lot of others, I've had to take a moment, and I sometimes I even stop recording and I just stare at like the 3 decisions. Usually 2 dark side, 1 light side. Sometimes 2 light side, 1 dark side. And I have to like think in my head. I have to play it out like a chess move. I'm like, what is going to happen if I do this one? What's going to happen if I do this one? What's going to happen if I don't do this one? And it's some of the hardest decisions that I've made in the game thus far, and that's why I really like playing as the trooper for neutral. And in fact, most of my characters from here on out will probably be neutral. Like, I mean, the ones I already have, light-sided or dark-sided, like my dark-sided Jedi is going to stick that way because I think that's really fun. My light-sided bounty hunter, he's going to stick that way because I think that's really fun. So, you know, there's different options there. But as far as the choices go thus far, for the neutral trooper, I'm really enjoying it. And if you just don't know whether you want to go light-sided or dark-sided, I would say go neutral, because you'll have a lot more fun with it, and you get to make the decisions that you want to make.